What if I told you there's a secret hidden in every flower you've ever admired, every painting that's taken your breath away, and even the shape of your own body? This isn't some clickbait conspiracy. It's ancient wisdom encoded directly into the fabric of reality. You probably learned about Pythagoras in math class, just another Greek guy who liked triangles. But the real Pythagoras was onto something far more extraordinary and mysterious. The golden ratio, a hidden harmony that quietly orchestrates our entire universe. Now here's the kicker. Why has such a powerful truth been mostly forgotten, reduced to a simple mathematical curiosity? What if our ancestors understood something profound about life, beauty, and even spirituality, encoded in a number they called divine? And what if rediscovering this ancient wisdom could actually transform how you experience the world today? In this video, we're going beyond textbooks and Wikipedia snippets. We're diving deep into the hidden legacy of Pythagoras and uncovering the real meaning behind the golden ratio, how it connects ancient temples to modern science, art to spirituality, and even your own consciousness to the cosmos. Stick around, because once you see the golden ratio's hidden legacy, you'll never look at the world the same way again. Coming up, we'll journey into the past, uncovering how this secret number shaped civilizations and was intentionally buried. Are you ready to rediscover what the ancients knew? Let's get started. When most people hear the name Pythagoras, the first image that pops into their heads is probably a dusty old textbook filled with geometry problems. But let me take you back to the real Pythagoras, the mysterious sage of ancient Greece who traveled across Egypt, Babylon, and Persia, absorbing secret wisdom from priests and mystics long before math teachers ever learned to torture students with triangles. In fact, Pythagoras didn't just stumble upon mathematical ideas. He spent decades studying under Egyptian initiates who believed numbers held mystical truths about life, death, and eternity. The Egyptians called these numbers keys, secret codes capable of unlocking the mysteries of existence itself. When Pythagoras returned to Greece, he carried this sacred knowledge hidden beneath the cloak of mathematics, teaching it only to those willing to undergo rigorous spiritual training. At the heart of his teachings was a remarkable discovery, the golden ratio, also known as phi, approximately equal to 1.618. It wasn't just another number. It was considered divine, appearing everywhere from the spiral shells on the seashore to the proportions of the human body and the structure of galaxies. Pythagoras and his followers believed this ratio was the fundamental blueprint that nature itself used to create beauty and harmony. But why, then, has such an influential discovery been reduced to nothing more than a mathematical footnote? As history unfolded, these teachings threatened existing powers, both religious and political. Philosophers who taught that numbers held spiritual significance often faced suspicion or persecution. Over time, Pythagoras' wisdom became diluted, lost, or deliberately hidden, relegated to puzzles and forgotten symbols rather than truths about life and consciousness. Today, we rarely recognize that when we admire the paintings of Leonardo da Vinci, marvel at the Great Pyramid, or even swipe through Instagram images of perfectly proportioned faces, we're unknowingly paying tribute to an ancient wisdom taught by a Greek sage whose real teachings went far beyond geometry. So, here's the real question. What other secrets did Pythagoras uncover? And why did history keep them from us. Stay tuned as we journey deeper into the hidden legacy behind this powerful yet misunderstood number, the golden ratio. Imagine you're looking at your favorite painting, or perhaps gazing up at a majestic, ancient temple. Your eyes follow the lines, the curves, the subtle balance. Everything feels effortlessly beautiful. But why? Is beauty really just a matter of personal taste? Or is there something deeper at play? Here's the twist. What you're experiencing might not be subjective at all, but rather the hidden legacy of Pythagoras himself, the legendary Greek philosopher we mostly remember from high school geometry. But here's what school didn't teach you. Pythagoras uncovered a profound truth about nature and beauty that he and his followers guarded fiercely. This secret is known today as the golden ratio, a mysterious number approximately 1.618 that appears again and again throughout art, architecture, and even nature itself. At first glance, this sounds like some academic curiosity. But here's the kicker. Once you see this ratio, you can't unsee it. From the spirals in a sunflower center to the graceful curves of the human face, this proportion is everywhere. Leonardo da Vinci used it deliberately to craft Mona Lisa's enigmatic smile. Egyptian pyramids reflect this hidden geometry. Even galaxies swirling in space adhere uncannily close to this golden measure. But why did Pythagoras guard this knowledge so zealously, treating it almost like forbidden wisdom? Here's where it gets really intriguing. To him, these proportions weren't just beautiful, they were sacred. Numbers weren't abstract symbols, but living principles that connected humanity to a deeper cosmic order. He taught his disciples that by understanding and applying this divine proportion, they could align themselves not only with aesthetic beauty, but also with spiritual truth. Yet, here's the puzzle. How exactly did Pythagoras and his secretive followers use this ratio practically? Was it merely an artistic guide, or was it a tool for something far more powerful, perhaps even mystical? And could tapping into this hidden geometry genuinely impact our own lives today? Stay with me, because in the next section, we'll unravel exactly how Pythagoras believed the golden ratio could change everything, from our minds and emotions to our relationships and even our destinies. What if I told you the golden ratio wasn't just an aesthetic rule, it was a spiritual technology? To Pythagoras and his followers, the golden ratio, also called the divine proportion, was more than a mathematical coincidence. They believed it was the very fingerprint of the divine, a bridge between the material and the metaphysical. And here's where things get deep. They saw this ratio not only in art and nature, but also in the soul itself. According to Pythagorean philosophy, the human being is a microcosm of the universe, a smaller version of the cosmic order. Just as planets move in harmonious ratios, so too can the mind, body, and spirit, but only when they're in proportion. And the golden ratio? It was seen as the template for that balance. Now here comes the curveball. In his secretive school at Croton, Pythagoras didn't just teach math or music, he guided students through practices to tune their inner life using proportion. Meditation exercises time to musical harmonics. Breathing patterns structured by Fibonacci sequences. Even ethical behavior was seen as an act of internal alignment. If you lived in excess or deficiency, whether in appetite, speech, or emotion, you were out of ratio, out of harmony. Sound abstract? Let's get practical. Modern neuroscience is now catching up. Studies show that human beings are more likely to perceive faces, voices, and even behavior as trustworthy or beautiful when they align with golden proportions. Architects have found that buildings using the golden ratio evoke a deeper sense of peace in visitors. Psychologists suggest that environments rich in golden spirals, whether in design or nature, may help regulate anxiety and improve focus. Even cardiac rhythms and brain waves naturally fall into Fibonacci-like patterns when we're in deep states of peace. This isn't just about old symbols and sacred math. It's about tapping into a code of coherence that's been hiding in plain sight. But there's a warning woven into the teachings. Those who tried to use this knowledge purely for personal gain or without ethical maturity risked spiritual imbalance. The Pythagoreans believed that misuse of sacred ratios could distort not just art or architecture, but the soul's evolution. That's why they guarded these teachings so carefully, not out of elitism, but out of reverence. So, when we hear everything is number, it's not about cold equations. It's about discovering the underlying music of existence and learning to live in tune with it. The question is, are we willing to stop, listen, and retune ourselves? Next, we'll explore how artists, inventors, and visionaries throughout history, people like Leonardo da Vinci and Buckminster Fuller, use this ancient principle to create breakthroughs, and how you can begin applying it to your own life in simple, powerful ways. Throughout history, some of the most brilliant minds have tapped into the secret of the golden ratio, not just for beauty, but for transformation. Leonardo da Vinci used it obsessively in his paintings, believing it brought not only visual harmony, but spiritual resonance. Nikola Tesla was known to obsess over 3-6-9 patterns, closely related to the Pythagorean worldview of numeric vibration. Even Steve Jobs insisted on using golden proportions in Apple's product design, knowing that people feel what they can't always explain. But how can you actually use this? Let's start small, literally. One simple practice is golden breathwork. Try this. Inhale for 5 counts, hold for 8, exhale for 13. Those are Fibonacci numbers. Do it repeatedly and you'll notice your nervous system calming. Your thoughts begin to settle. Why? Because you're syncing your internal rhythm with a universal one. It's not just relaxation, it's alignment. Another method, apply the golden ratio in your environment. Design your workspace or meditation area using 1 to 1.618 proportions. This can be as simple as choosing artwork or furniture layouts that follow golden rectangles. You'll be surprised how much more focused and at peace you feel. You can also use this principle when journaling. The Pythagoreans believed each number had a spiritual vibration. Write a daily reflection using only 3, 5, or 8 key insights. Those are Fibonacci numbers. Doing so creates subconscious order and helps internalize clarity. And if you're a creative, artist, musician, writer, begin experimenting with structure through ratio. Compose music with timing based on Fibonacci counts. Structure your essays or chapters around golden section breaks. These subtle changes produce a feeling of natural flow that your audience feels even if they can't name it. But here's the real secret. It's not about perfection. It's about attunement. When you start noticing these patterns in your life and choices, you begin to think more clearly, act more intentionally, and, perhaps most importantly, feel more whole. Remember, for the Pythagoreans, transformation wasn't about escaping the world. It was about becoming so aligned with its rhythm that the divine could move through you effortlessly. And now that you know what they knew, will you start tuning your own frequency? Let me know in the comments what part of this practice you're going to try first. Or maybe you've already noticed these patterns before. Share your experience. And if this resonated with you, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and send this to someone who's ready to hear the music again. Maybe the golden ratio isn't just a math thing. Maybe it's a reminder, a quiet echo across time that whispers, there is order in the chaos, if you know where to look. Pythagoras didn't leave us a religion. He left us a rhythm, a way to breathe, to build, to live. And in a world that moves faster than ever, maybe the real rebellion isn't to chase more, but to tune in, to slow down, to notice, to remember that we are not separate from the patterns. We are the pattern. So here's the question. Are you living in harmony with the deeper rhythm of life? Or are you just playing random notes? If this video stirred something in you, drop a comment and let me know. What part of Pythagoras' secret teachings hit you the hardest? Are you already applying sacred geometry, music, or vibration in your life? I'd love to hear your story. If you haven't already, subscribe and share this with someone who's ready to remember. Because truth, like music, isn't meant to be kept silent.